Well, here's to that point. I went to see the Pretty Mess tour way back. And I said right there when I saw it, I don't know what year this was. I think I saw it twice. I saw it twice. Like, I'm like, this is a hobby because I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. It
Yeah.
wasn't really, I mean, she was on stage for 40 minutes, but like, I'm like, I literally thought this at the moment, like, how much is this costing? Like, I'm looking
Right.
around the general admission place and this is what the
10
tickets were. This is right. Here's the merch. There's money coming in, but I mean,
not for what it costs.
there were like 12, 15 backup hunky male dancers, costume changes beyond. Mikey Minden, creative director, smoke. I'm like, this is like a fucking Madonna production on a stage that is this like, and now you're all on a tour bus and she's flying. I'm like, this is costing Tom Girardi so much money. This tour is not me. So that's a nice hobby. No. Like we all have a hobby. Listen, if that's really your hobby, have a one night performance a year and sell it. Like this tour, I'm like, holy shit, this is costing so much money.
So much money. No, I know.
Just to fill out your rock star fantasy. Like, I mean, that's where it's egregious. It's like, you didn't need to do all this shit.
She literally, like, there was like a video montage clip that someone made where she was talking about how expensive, she's like, this is expensive. And you want to perform in front of people. It's expensive. I thought, wait a minute. It's expensive to perform. You're supposed to be making money or at least break even. If you're losing money, it's a hobby.
Yeah. And I literally, I remember being them like, what a fucking expensive hobby. Like, this is crazy. Like costume. I mean, like get up and sing in the LA and then go to San Diego. Cause it's like, stay local. This was like a mini tour of like,
I know.
I'm like, holy shit. So, right. You didn't need to do this. And like, even that was like, who was it? Rinna was like, oh, I didn't realize having a store was a business. Like, what do you think? I mean, it's a store to make money. Like, what do you think? Sutton just opens the store and hangs out all day?
Yeah. No, she's smart. Sutton's smart.
That was a little, so I don't know. It's just like, yeah. So, I mean, I think I sense that jealousy. And like, yeah, you could say the same thing about Kathy Hilton, but she's no dummy. Like, you're not going to go after Kathy Hilton because she will decimate you in the town of Los Angeles. I just think she's so jealous of like, she can say whatever she wants. Like, Sutton is looking at you and Sutton has no problems. I mean, she might have, but like, you know what I mean? Like there's no problem.
No one is jealous of Erika. No one. Even before all this, no one was jealous of her. No one was jealous of her house, her marriage, her career, her jewelry, nothing. Sorry.
This is how it's like, you, especially if she's a narcissist, like you say, like her marriage made sense to me. Like, you're like living in a house by yourself it's a nice, like, she didn't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like, you don't need a husband if you're that into yourself. And it's like, that's where I go. And like, I don't buy that you were miserable and he cheated and you were lonely.
He was snoring before she ever came home at night.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad setup to just come and go as you please. And
have the check and have the credit card paid off every month, not just dropping whatever you wanted to. I mean, come on.
And then to say to 12 of your friends, come on over, let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah.
I don't believe this. I was miserable.
When I'm really going to be curious what her answer is going to be when Andy asks her why she didn't leave. And she says, where was I going to live? You're right. Where were you going to live that life on someone else's dime and blow through $40,000 to $60,000 a month? Yeah, you were going nowhere. You had to stay.
That's where it's like, no, this is why nobody feels sorry for you. Like, right. Like, that's just such a stupid thing to say. Like, again, that's what I go back to. Like, you get, yes, okay, so it's $5,000 a month, but you can get like a doorman apartment, like, and just somewhere. I mean, you'll have a roof over it. You're not going to live in like a Motel 6. Like, you could get a nice. again, you're not going to be loaded like on, but like your check that you make from the show, no, it won't cover all this stuff, but it will cover a nice, decent 1-bedroom rental.
Yeah. Oh, but where is she going to put all of her shit though? I mean, she's got so much stuff.
That's where people start to be like, we don't feel sorry for you.
100%.
Women get divorced all the time in the United States of America who has husbands are working, and they're literally like, I don't know how am I going to eat? And they figure it out. So this is where nobody feels sorry for her. And the way she is acting is this could have been, I don't know who, no one came in and said, let's take this case over and counsel you. But I do think I don't know where I read it, where she just, I don't think she would listen. I think she would, you could see her lawyers saying to her, do this. And she's saying she even said, they told me not to be on the show and this and that. And she's not listening to them.
No. And when she said, when she kind of was pleading her case, like, I was never going to quit. I'm going to come back and show everybody. How? With what?
Right. And then that's also when I was thinking, yeah.
What could they turn over that all of a sudden is going to clear her name as far as the amount of money that she's gone through and the money going into her account? And she doesn't understand. It seems to me she doesn't understand. She hasn't been charged with a crime, but people are judging her on her behavior based on what it is. And even if she didn't know, it doesn't wipe out her lack of empathy for the victims. If she didn't know, in sooner or later something comes out, a miracle falls from the sky that says Erika didn't know. Even still, all of that horrible behavior is not going to be forgiven.
Well, no, that's the thing. When this is over, and it's LA, so you're going to go around, and yes, there's going to be a whole group of people that are going to kiss your ass because you're on this show and that. But beyond that, how are you going to no one? It's irreparable. People that despise you, there's no coming back now.
And as the victims become more vocal, like this guy's mother that's now speaking out, and you listen to those things and everyone kind of just, yeah, that's right. And what about this? And that fuels you when you see or read or hear of somebody else's pain, what they're going through, their experience now, and they're saying, we can't even look at her because we think about the money that she's spending. And is that the money that should have gone to this woman's poor son? What do you say? What can you say to that?